In today's episode, I'm going to go through Geelong and their centre bounce clearances from the weekend against the Bombers. There's nothing sexy, there's nothing pretty, but what it is, it's complete discipline. And that's what I love about the structure set up by the Cats. And it's not only in the middle, the discipline and how they set up their starting points in the middle, but it's also the guys on the wings. And you'll see that in the clips that I show, how disciplined they are. There's even one stage there where Stanley points to Atkins and says, hey, you've got to come on this side, you've got to be goal side. So let's get through the clips and I'll show you how disciplined they are and why they were so effective in winning plus 10 out of the centre on the weekend. So look at the footage of the Cats from the weekend. One of the real strong indicators that I saw was that they were always goal side. So Essendon's going left of screen. They were always goal side of their man. This was a bit different. When Merritt was in there, Mullen was pretty close to him. So what he was effectively trying to do is he was trying to stop the effectiveness of Merritt when he explodes out of the middle, which is so effective. And I'll show you a clip where he was able to get a clearance by doing that. But I just love how they set up this structure. It was really so this is the first centre bounce, and nothing comes of this. But as I've said in previous videos, you always get a really strong indication from the very first centre bounce how each club's setting up. Now, with Goldstein being a left-hander, they wanted to put it in this area, and that's what they were trying to do. But Stanley was really good at negating that. But I just love, looking at Geelong, I just love that they were goal side. And this really played in their hands, and this is why it was so effective. And their discipline to stick to this was really, really effective. So you can see here, so this is still early in the game, goal side, and Mullen here with Merritt, really, it was a negating role. It's really, really hard. Like, he followed him, he didn't get sucked in the contest, and it allowed Holmes and Bailey to do what they do. So the ball comes up, and they're really structured. And what I love about this from Holmes, he's the sweeper. So this is the sweeper role, this is the sweeper, this is the blocker. So just a bit of a 101. What I love about this from Holmes, and a really good educational point if you're ever the sweeper, is to never go into the contest. And I say never, but don't get sucked in the contest. What you want to do is you want to shift laterally. So this is what the sweeper does. The sweeper shifts laterally where in relation to the ball. So the ball's here. So the contest is dragging across this way. So what you want to do as a sweeper, you actually want to come across and be in line with where the contest is. That's the power of the and I'll show you another play with Holmes does it really, really well. But you've got to be really patient, and that's why I think Max Holmes is such a good sweeper, because he's patient, he doesn't get sucked in the contest, but then when he gets a handball receive, away you go, and there's no one that can chase him down. So I love his positioning here. Look how far he's moved across. He started here, and he shifted. He's not just hanging behind here or getting sucked in the contest. He's shifting his across as a sweeper. And great body work here by Bailey Smith. The ability to get in front. Look how low. Look at that centre of gravity. Really good. Great core strength. And then he's able to get it, and then away he goes. But look where Holmes is. In line with where the actual position of the ball is. And he's not sucked in like Setterfield there. Just awesome play. I really love that as a sweeper role. So you can see once again, so Bailey Smith's goal side, so Essendon's going the bottom of the screen, and Atkins ends up becoming goal side. And then with the blocker, it's a negating role, it's hold your position, don't allow them to shoot through. But this is why the structure of being on goal side was so effective for Geelong on the weekend. The ball comes up, Blizzard's there, look at that. Right on him, but he's on goal side. Bailey Smith there, he's on goal side. Where's the ball going? Towards their goals. Who's the first one to get there? They are. So this happened all day. This is a great structure. I love the discipline of this, and they didn't alter one bit. And there's the sweeper role. So Bailey Smith and Max Holmes play that sweeper role extremely well. They understand who's in and who's out. And as I've said before, having balance around the contest is so important. You've seen already two clips where the sweeper has been really, really balanced. So Essendon's going right of screen. Max Holmes, goal side. Atkins, goal side. Mullen, man up with Merritt. Be aware of what he's doing. And then because of this, because you are on goal side, you're able to then push the ball. If it comes your way, you're able to push it into the contest. Great strength there. Could possibly be over the shoulder there from Atkins, but good body strength. But look at this is what I love as a sweeper. So he just holds his position. He doesn't get sucked in the contest. Still holding. There you go. So there's a 2-on-1, but look at Holmes as a sweeper. This is what I was saying to you before. You've got to be so patient as the sweeper and have balance. There's no point him being on there. It's 2-on-2 in the contest. So hold. Look, he's still holding. Look at that. I love that. I love that from Max Holmes. And then guess what? Now good luck. That's what you love from the sweeper. That's why they use Bailey Smith, and that's why they use Max Holmes. But it's the ability of those players to be so balanced and so disciplined to not get sucked in the contest and to be the receiver. And that's why they were so effective. I just love that role from Max Holmes. It's awesome. So once again, this is in the third quarter. Still the discipline of goal side, goal side, goal side, goal side. So obviously Essendon's going left of screen, and then he's even goal side here. But it's like I said, when Merritt's in there, it's touch and feel. It's watch where he goes. Don't get sucked into the contest. Even if Merritt flares out, he was going with him as well. So it was a really strong discipline. I really love this from the Cats. So when the ball then bubbles around and it's in tight and close, you're goal side. So there's no exits. There's absolutely no exits there. The only way that Essendon could potentially get out is to come back. But then you have the contested one-on-one with Merritt. So this is where it becomes super effective. They weren't letting Essendon get out the front side. I reckon that was their one wood. This is not getting out the front side. We are pushing. If any situation comes like this, we're pushing it our way because we're goal side. And that's what they're able to do. And then they just get their hands on the ball. But look at Holmes again. Comes into the contest, but square. Still holding himself as a position as a handball receive. Right, so once again, so the Bombers are going left of screen. So this is still in the third quarter. So goal side, semi-goal side, one-on-one, goal side, goal side. But how the structure is, this is the sweeper, this is the blocker, this is the receiver. So that's, as I've said before, the two anchor pillars that you need to have when you're in the centre bounce is the sweeper and the blocker. And then the receiver here can go wherever he wants. So that's where that's an important message because it's knowing your role. So Bailey Smith does not want to get sucked in the contest. He's holding. That's his role. He's a sweeper, you're holding. So allow for the receiver to zip and zag. Hold. And look how this pans out. Still holding. Right, now the ruck has won it, so it hasn't gone into dispute. The ruck's won it. Bailey Smith still holding, but he's laterally moving in line with where the ball is. And because he's in that position, obviously miss hand pass there from Goldstein, but you have to be in the right position. Gets it, clearance. That is knowing your role. Goal side, goal side. So this is really interesting. So this is Stanley. Look, he's pointing to Atkins. Get here. Get goal side. Don't allow them to be in this position. So look, even pointing over there. So this is how disciplined they were. Even Max Holmes thought he was coming across here, but no, you've got to get Atkins there. So discipline. The structure was really disciplined. No, I've got him. Look, even Max Holmes will say, Atkins, where are you going? You know where you need to be. And then look, he just goes straight over to him, but he's still pushing to goal side. There. Goal side. Even goal side as a blocker, but still really disciplined. Look who's able to body up and position. Goal side. So they had their structure in place, and then guess who wins it? Thanks Stanley for that. Getting him in the right position. But you can see the discipline. They were not letting Essendon get out front side. No way. And then great lateral awareness and spread by the winger. So once the wingers knew, see goal side, once the wingers knew that they were in possession, away they went. This would have been the same situation if they exited this way. No doubt Dempsey would have been going laterally spread as well for that kick release. And this is the last clip, and this is the only one where I saw where the receiver came to the sweeper and create a little bit of chaos for one of their players to come through. So it was a really good set play. I quite like this. They did this late in the third quarter, and it was really effective. So how it happens is Bailey Smith comes over just to create a little bit of chaos. Essendon player comes over, and then Max Holmes just goes straight through. So I love this organisation, but when Bailey Smith does this, and it's important to know, when you come back, you're replacing the sweeper. Sweeper, as I keep saying, is the most important role. So if you're going to allow the sweeper to go and have a crack, and it's all well and good, they're up by 50 points, the sweeper still has to hold. So if you're replacing the sweeper, sweeper's going as a receiver, you have to still hold and not get sucked in the contest, and that's what happens in this situation. So ball, and you can see the movement now. So Max Holmes is ready to go. Bailey Smith's come over for a block, and now it's on this guy to actually watch what Max Holmes is doing. But if you give Max Holmes 2 metres as a run-up, good luck. Great tap, and away he goes. So you can see the structure, the set plays, how they were structured. It was really, really awesome to see how they were actually so disciplined in setting up goal side. You could see it from the wingers. You could see it in the centre bounce. They weren't allowing Essendon on the front side. And the front side means over, out of the front side of the centre circle. It was a really awesome display. Smith, Holmes, both had 6 clearances each, with Atkins had 5. So they smashed them out of the centre. They were really effective, and it was because they had that structure in place. So well done to the Cats.